Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this. I am the CHALL, and today Chall Chats to the DRFC Daily Reports. LM7 signed, sealed, delivered. A contract agreed is on its way. Pete O'Rourke's reporting it. Molyneux is set to sign a brand new deal. We'll talk all about that, the current winger situation, and also some potential options who I could see come in. Now we have this news on Molyneux. Before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We will bring out another video when the official announcement is made. Of course, it's probably a matter of when now. Obviously, make sure you stay tuned for all the rest of the content coming up this week. We've got the FA Cup final. We've got 2 more European finals to come. Pre-season's coming up in the next month or two. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be a wonderful season, hopefully next season for the channel. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. Let's get there as soon as possible, please. And for now, before we get into the analysis, let's get into the details specifically. So, as mentioned by Pete O'Rourke, Doncaster Rovers have beat off the competition from the likes of Gillingham and MK Dons, as Molyneux is now set to sign a new deal at the football club. So, before we get into talking about potential options to add to that winger collection and looking at the current winger situation, we have to talk about the news that Molyneux is set to sign this deal. Obviously, at this time, we don't know the length of the deal. I would probably guess a 2-year deal. I mean, that's my personal guess. That's what I hope for anyway. A 2-year deal with the option of an extra year is my personal hope. But either way, Molyneux set to sign a brand new deal. Is this the best news we could have hoped for? Absolutely. If Luke's watching this, it means I can purchase some LM. I can make some LM7 merch and purchase it. But but yeah, overall for me, it's a great signing. Great to get that new contract nailed down. For me, I think with all the buzz around him, and I think with the fans' reaction to him, I think that this is probably the one out of the three that I would love to see get nailed down the most, and probably the most likely out of the three. Adelaide for me will get chased by League One and higher in League Two as well. So Adelaide's 50-50 for me. I just don't see it happening. If it does, then that's even better. I think if Adelaide signs as well as Molyneux, then that pretty much for me determines the winger situation, which we'll obviously talk about a little later. But yeah, and Biggins for me, again, it's a bit of a 50-50 one. He could sign, but then again, does he get ahead of Sabara and Westbrook? Depending on which game. But overall, for me, this is a great signing. I think this is a wonderful deal. I think Molyneux signing a brand new contract is going to be great for the club. I think some of John Taylor's wage will probably go into this deal. And for me personally, it's probably the best news the fans wanted to hear. And we're just waiting for the announcement now from the club, which we will talk about in a separate video. So where does this leave the current winger situation at the club? So it leaves the current winger situation like this. You've got 2 in each position. You've got Molyneux pending announcement. And of course, you've got Kulea, who could be loaned out, but you never know. And then on the other side, you've got Satona, who is transfer listed, and Carl Hurst, who's here for at least another year or two. So again, for me, I think all 4 of them can do a job. I think Satona's got potential. I think Kalea's got potential. I think Molyneux's a great player. I think Hurst is a tricky player with lots of potential. I think Hurst is the one that would be built up long term. He is still, 21, 22. So for me, I think there's still time with Kyle. I think Deji obviously being transfer listed means that he'll be on his way. I think Kulea might be loaned out, but then again could be used in the cups. And then you've also got the opportunity there with Molyneux to be announced to start week in, week out as your main right winger in that number 7 shirt. So that we've talked about Molyneux looking like he's going to stay, and with the current winger situation on its hinges, we have to talk about potential options to come into the club in terms of who do we bring in? Because if you think about it, Satona transfer listed, Kulea may be loaned out next season. So think about it, you've got 1 winger either side. There's plenty of names out there. I mean, Ben Parkinson for Newcastle strikes to me instantly. He, for me, would be a great young option. Obviously, he is out of contract this summer, so there's an option to make it permanent if you wanted to go for a permanent deal for him. Obviously, a loan deal is more likely depending on his contract situation. He's a tricky winger, cuts in and out, loads of pace, loads of energy, loads of drive. And obviously, being a Newcastle guy, Coppinger will know a lot about Newcastle with his time there as a youth player back in the day. And for me, I think Ben Parkinson would be a wonderful signing. Obviously, there's one name in there. There is one particular name that I would love for us to sign. I think it's quite unrealistic, but this name that I've had in my head for a while is someone who I reckon would be good for League One, lower Championship, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. We saw Mansfield pick up a Championship style player in League One. For me, I think this particular name that I'm about to say is just one of the best in his position in the country, and that is Kai Fotheringham. So Kai Fotheringham is out of contract in summer 2025. I think the fee makes it a bit more unrealistic. He is very creative, very highly rated with lots of potential. He creates chances for himself, he assists others, he cuts in with his left onto his right, which is a pretty sweet move. Um, he's pretty consistently involved in goals and assists overall as well. For me, I think Kai would be just the ultimate winger. I have this feeling about Kai Fotheringham, but again, I just think it's a League One type signing. I think it'd be a pretty big coup for League Two, which is why I don't think it's it's the reason why I think it's a bit unrealistic. Another name that maybe people haven't spoken about much, but a name that I think could do really well on loan from Barnsley is Fabio Giallo. I think, again, this kid's got plenty of potential, and I think he would just thrive under Grant McCann. I know a lot of Rovers fans are going to come out and say Malik Wilkes from Sheffield Wednesday with the lack of game time he's received at Hillsborough. Again, I just think he goes to League One. I just don't think he comes down to League Two unless it's a massive, massive wage cut. So for me, I think that Malik Wilkes, although it'd be a fantastic name, don't get me wrong, bring him back. It'd be nice to bring him back. But as I said about people saying John Marquise to come back, look, just don't focus on past players. Just move forward, keep looking forward, and just focus on the next crop of talent. Don't go back into the past and bring the past back and try and make it just as good because it might not work. It might not work. And I just think we need to move forward. Don't keep looking at the past. Yes, there was great players in the past. Ben Whiteman, Herbie Kane, Malik Wilkes, John Marquis. Matty Blair was great back in the day as well. So for me, I just think we just need to keep looking forward. Just don't keep going for past players. We brought Tommy Rowe back. He did pretty well in the time that he was there before he left at the end of the season. So, he did well. He did well when he came back. With how tough it was during those years as well. He did well to say it was 3 tough years overall for the club. So, I mean, if you think about it, relegation, 18th in League Two, and then, we just miss out on a playoff final. So, for me, I think that it's one of them. It's one of them. Just don't look at past players. Just keep moving forward. And for me, I think Fotheringham represents that. I think Fabio Giallo represents that. I think Ben Parkinson represents that. And there are plenty other wingers out there that you could represent that. But overall, for me personally, I would just say on this, I think there's plenty of options out there to come in. If I had the choice personally, I would loan in Fabio Giallo for the left-hand side to compete with Hurst. And for the right-hand side with Molyneux, I would bring in someone young, someone like a Ben Parkinson, someone like a Kai Fotheringham if you wanted to splash a little bit of cash. And that kind of player takes you further. I'll be honest with you, another name that I had on my list was Abraham Odo from Harrogate, but obviously he's now signed for Peterborough. So, again, he's another name on that list. And for me, he's someone that would do a wonderful job. But obviously, he's going to enjoy his football at the Posh under Darren Fergie. So, fair play to him. And, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. I could have easily gone for Sam Folarin from Harrogate as well, but I think he stays there. I don't think he moves. I could be wrong, but I don't think he moves. But there we go. But there we go, guys. Thank you very, very much. Molyneux set to sign the brand new deal. We wait on the official club announcement. We will share the club statement when it is revealed. We'll share the manager's statement, the player's statement, and we'll talk more in detail about the length of the deal and also a bit more about the situation as a whole. So thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you stay tuned for more videos. Hopefully that announcement comes today. Fingers crossed. We don't know if it's today or not, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it'd be a nice present. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now. That's full time. Mean that badge to you. LM7 back in the building.